Four-star Crook's 8-race win streak came to an end last time out, but she looks to defend her title today in race number 8, the feature race with John Hedinger. Belmont Park is the place to be here all of next week, but especially Saturday. Sadler's Joy getting ready for the John Hurst Turf Classic, and he'll be taking, the Joe Hurst Turf Classic, and he'll be taking on his main rival, Oscar Performance, after his win in the Sword Dancer. And West Coast was dominating again, this time in the Keystone State. And Bob Baffert was there on site, trying to tell Andy Serling that white is okay after Labor Day. Welcome back to Belmont Park Live, brought to you by Claiborne Farm, 100 years of doing the usual unusually well. Another gorgeous day on the hottest side, about 85 degrees here in Elmont, New York. Yes, everybody looking for a little shade. And again, Andy, we've been talking about Mother Nature. It has just been tremendous. The turf racing has been tremendous. And 43 horses today in the last 4 races.
Yeah, it's a terrific card in the late pick 4, as you say. It is very good. And it's funny, the turf has gotten very firm with the warm weather, but it's not like Saratoga where I think you need to be in front. The races have been very fair if you watch them, and the racing is terrific, especially this time of year if the weather holds up. And Paul is right. I take all of my fashion cues from Bob Baffert.
This is true. Let's get to the conditions of the racetrack. And yes, with this weather, fast and firm. And like I said, 43 horses. And we'll start. We had a couple of the girls going as well as the boys. But here is the weather. Like I said, 84 degrees. The wind, no matter. Track is fast and it is firm. And you hear the bugle as it's going off as the post parade is about ready to get set for race number 6. And this is what we're going to bring you on Belmont Park Live. Races 6, 7, 8, and 9. The John Hedinger is our feature race. That would go off at approximately 5:13 p.m. But we start off this late pick 4 in race number 6 in a mile, the 16th on the turf. But you have to get involved. And to get involved, you get to. It's never been easier to get a Naira Bets account. 100 sign-up bonus, promo code LIVE. You have to bet that in 14 days. Andy Serling can bet it in 14 minutes. If you bet it in 14 days, you'll get your $100 back. Very easy. Go to NairaBets.com. Let's get to the post parade to start off this late pick 4. And it's a doozy. Like we said, here is the one, Cool As You Like, for Jimmy Toner. And Joel Rosario. Blinkers will go on.
Tries the turf for the first time with good connections, but not much turf pedigree. Dam's a half to Holy Bull, though.
Light Rain, 63-1. Big long shot here for Hector Diaz and Patty Kelly.
Yeah, Light Rain looks a little overmatched here.
Queen of the Castle for Saratoga leading owner Michael Dubb and Michelle Nevin.
My top choice, a horse that's run plenty of competitive races, gets a big trainer change here.
5 each way for Graham Motion and Nick Juarez. This is a daughter of Bullet Train.
Forget her last race in the dirt. She's gotten better with every turf race, and she's a player for Graham Motion.
Table for 6, I thought, was a little interesting here for Ralph Nix and Junior Alvarado. No wins in the last 2 years.
The problem is she's good enough to win, but with 1 win in 6 seconds and 12 starts, she looks like the bridesmaid.
Kitty Madness, 12-1, puts the blinkers on. Better effort last time.
She actually ran fine last time out, stepping forward. I still think she'd take another step forward to win here.
Another long shot on the board is Puppery, 50-1 on the morning line, 43-1 today.
Well, 43-1 seems a little low.
She remembered Jeremiah Englehart. This horse won last time out for Luis Saez. He's looking for the hat trick.
She did win, and Jeremiah Englehart looking for his second winner of the day, but she got a perfect trip against Lesser.
Pinchbeck at 5-1. Little surprise here with Irad Ortiz and Christophe Clement.
She's a player here. This is that kind of competitive race. There's going to be a lot of horses that are players that are fair prices.
Electrified, 20-1 on the morning line for Mike Luzzy, 50-1 today.
Yeah, she looks like she's better shorter if she's good enough.
Photographer for Glenn Hill and Tom Proctor and Chris DiCarlo. Winner last time out in a state-bred race at Saratoga.
She's a war front, and she has plenty of room to improve for Tom Proctor, but she'll need to. She got a very fast pace to close into last time.
And your current favorite for Bruce Levine and Javier Castellano. This is the daughter of Freud at 7-2.
She broke a length slow and was 3 wide around the track on a course that was very favorable to inside runners last time. She is the horse to beat.
Yeah, and you know, this is a difficult sequence. We were talking about this earlier, Andy. With the 43 horses in the sequence, you have a pick 4. And here's the thing. You're not a kind of guy that plays a highest ticket, so you think it is difficult.
I think it is, but I think you want to get involved. Now, listen, I understand some will want a single 4-star crook in the feature. The one, I'm going to use Act Naughty, the other Chad Bren runner as well. 3, 4, 12 to start it out. The 12's the one to beat, but I like the 3 horse off the claim as my top choice. 5, 8, 9 the next race, where I think it's the 9 horse is the favorite. but a suspicious drop down. 2-10-11 are the main players in the last race. I'm throwing in two first-time stars at 3 and 6 at big prices. Let's try to get lucky and make a little hit.
Yeah, I think it's a good chance to get involved, like we said, because you can get some nice prices. And if you can beat 4-Star Crook or Act 90, you're going to get paid. Let's get to the third person on our crew, Gabby Gaudet.
Thank you, Paul. And as you mentioned, it's a beautiful day once again here at Belmont Park, a little on the warmer side as well, but happy to be showcasing this card. It's a tremendous betting card, too, and we'll start things off with your current favorite with the 12, Let Me Dance, towards the outside. And I do think you have to use this filly for all the reasons that Andy was alluding to, but she can't afford to not break, similarly to what she did last time out from that outermost post position. She could definitely win. I think she's got a shot. But we'll talk about some other horses who could potentially take that step forward and try to beat this favorite, and one of them could be the 9 Pinchbeck. Now, this filly is getting her second start off of a bit of a freshening there between June and August, and for me, I thought she ran pretty well last time out, but physically looking at her, it looks like she will like a little less distance at the 1.16 today. So third start off the layoff, cutting back slightly from 1 3/16 last time out, I think looks perfect for her. She's kind of on the smaller side, really racy on her toes. She looks great for the connections today. And we'll go to the 4-5 each way, guys. I think she's got a big shot. So I saw a couple of fillies maybe on their toes, showing some nervous energy in the paddock and on the track side too, but she's incredibly composed. So I know she's getting at a distance back to the 1.16. I think distance is probably her friend, and she just looks like one that just continues to improve. So I think 5 each way has a big shot right now at 8-1. And finally, the 3 Queen of Castle. I know, Andy, you like this filly a little bit, and I was curious to see how she looks first off the claim for Michelle Nevin, who does a fantastic job, but she did look like she was really on her toes in the paddock, hard to settle as well, and just kind of expending a lot of energy. Now that she's on the track, she's been staying with the pony under Johnny Velasquez, and he's gotten her to settle. So that is a good sign, but she was getting a little bit washed up.
Great stuff there, Gabby. And you were talking about the 3 Queen of the Castle. Off the claim for Peter Daly. 2 for 22 lifetime, Andy. What'd you see? Maybe some speed here?
Well, you've got a horse that's run a number of races that are good enough to be competitive. Going from a trainer, and I don't want to be critical on somebody who just has very few horses, but this is not a name trainer or somebody you know of having success. Claimed by Michael Dubb, who's about as sharp a claiming owner as there is in the game. Given to Michelle Nevin. Now, some will say, well, Michelle has very little success with turf horses. If you look through the turf stars she has, they're usually bad horses that aren't good in the dirt that she throws in the turf. Now she's getting legitimate turf horse. She had a horse in the spring off the claim, Esther the Queen. There was good turf. She got to improve, won first time off the claim. Why can't she do it here? This is a horse who's always been knocking on the door that now moves up significantly from connections.
I'm taking some money at the window, 8-1 to 5-1. Your current favorite still is the 12, Let Me Dance. Looked like she got a tiny bit tired late towards the end of that. Does the 12 post hurt her more at 1.16?
Not like the 10 post when you get left and you're 3 wide around the track at Saratoga on a track that's very favorably inside. I mean, it does mean she shouldn't get left. I think from what Gabby's saying about getting left, I don't mind the outside post as long as you can get yourself in a position. If you get left, it kind of always puts you out of position. So hopefully she breaks cleanly today and finds position. I think she's a big-time player here.
Okay, one more horse, the 9, Pinchbeck. I know you're not a big fan. You know, Barika snuck up the rail that day to beat her that day.
That was actually the next time when Barika, I mean, you're right. She did come through. You're right. I think there were 2 starts where Barika won late in the meet, and I'm getting confused. I think she ran fine in there. I don't want to knock her. I just look at she beat Kitty Madness by a nose, and I'm just not thrilled with that race. I'm trying to get the 3 to improve and beat these horses. I'm not going to be surprised. If I lose, she's the likeliest horse to beat me in the pick 4.
Well, it looks like they're all getting ready to set to go in the gate, and right now your current favorite is Let Me Dance, the 12 horse here at 5-2. Hopefully you got involved at NyraBets.com. You see the 9, Pinchbeck, going to go in, and about half the field loaded. Let's go up to the voice of Naira and the Triple Crown, Larry Colmus.
Last few to move into line here. Photographer now moving into the starting gate. Still 3 left to come up as table for 6 is heading up to line. And will be followed by Kitty Madness and the current favorite, Let Me Dance, who is 5-2 on the board and will be taking position now in the outside stall. Here comes Let Me Dance, and they're all in line. They're off. Good beginning there for Electrified, who goes out to lead them early. Electrified to the front, 5 each way on the inside. Table for 6 right alongside of them. And now moving up on the outside is Let Me Dance with Pumpery between horses. And then it's Pinchbeck to the outside. Kitty Madness, 5 each way. Queen of Castle in behind them. Photographer to the outside. She Remembered and Cool as You Like in Light Rain. Up the backstretch they go. Electrified from Let Me Dance to a 23.91 quarter. These two are now a neck apart. Puppery is on the outside of Table for 6, who's down toward the rail. Pinchbeck follows in 5th. Queen of Castle goes up 6th on the outside. Kitty Madness only 4 lengths off the lead, 7th near the rail. Break of another 2 to She Remembered. Then 5 each way to the inside of Photographer. Light Rain and Cool as You Like is last of them all. Long Shot Electrified leads the favorite Let Me Dance to a 47.63 half mile, and they're taken on by Pinchbeck now, who is ranging up on the outside. Puppery is there too. Electrified is given way now and is back running in 4th on the inside. Then Kitty Madness. A wide run there for Queen of Castle, who's in 6th. Racing outside of Table for 6. Then Photographer. They're coming toward the top of the stretch here. And Let Me Dance is the leader from Puppery. Pinchbeck to the outside. Kitty Madness is in behind them. Queen of Castle comes into the stretch 4 deep, and they're into the stretch. Let Me Dance the leader. Pinchbeck on the outside. Kitty Madness coming up the rail. Queen of Castle to the outside of them, puts in a bid 4 across the track, and Table for 6 is trying to join them on the outside. It is wide open, a 16th out, 5 horses across the track, and here's Table for 6 to run them down and win. From Queen of Castle, then Kitty Madness, Pinchbeck, and Let Me Dance in 141.03.
Table for 6 gets the job done in the middle of the racetrack here for Junior Alvarado. 0 for 9 the last 2 years, but when you look at this filly's races at Belmont, the best races have come here, and she finally cracked the code.
Listen, she had run plenty of races that were good enough to win this. She just needed to get a bit of a break. Maybe her to get a very good trip and a good ride, and she got one from Junior Alvarado. Others, perhaps not such a good trip. The 12 maybe moving too soon. The 3 forced wide the whole way. Same situation with the 9. At the end of the day, sometimes you have to be in the right place at the right time, and Table for 6, she's had some tough beats today, maybe a little lucky, but a horse that deserved to get it done.
Good call by you with Queen of the Castle. That's a tough beat with Johnny V. And how about Kitty Madness? She's run another good race. She put the blinkers on, and she basically outfinished everybody else in here. There was no excuse for Let Me Dance or Pinchbeck.
Well, you know, I guess you could argue Pinchbeck making that 4-wide premature move. I thought it was a very good ride by Kendrick Harmouche on Kitty Madness, because she was saving ground behind horses while everybody was in such a hurry to move in this race. I don't know why everybody was in such a hurry. The 3 got a little rank, went outside of horses, and then she kind of ran off on John Velasquez. At the end of the day, you feel like if she had just waited a little bit, maybe just waited outside the 6, she gets the job done, but that's turf racing. Sometimes you have to get the right trip. She probably didn't.
It just shows you. Look where the 5 is right here. I understand that the 5 was wide here, Andy, but when we were showing the back, she was saving all that ground. And the ultimate move on a turf course is when you're able to save that ground. You see Junior with a gray face start hitting her left-handed, and she's going to go right on by. So 7-1 to start this late pick 4 Hill Air at Belmont Park. We had some great stakes action in races 2 and 5. Don't miss it. You'll be back in this here in a second.
Grade 1 winner Lee traveled the world competing against the best of his generation. A graded stakes winner on both dirt and turf, he set a new track record in the Grade 1 Don Handicap and retired with earnings of more than $2.3 million. With his much anticipated first foals hitting the ground this year, the sky is the limit for this promising young stallion, Lee, at Claiborne Farm.
Make NYRA Bet NyraBets, your home for online horse racing and betting. Use NyraBets to bet on live horse racing from around the world. Bet from anywhere, anytime using your computer or mobile device. Earn valuable reward points on bets. Play in our exclusive promotions and earn cash rebates. Sign up at NyraBets.com and start earning your sign-up bonus today. NyraBets, racing's best play. Use promo code LIVE to get a $100 new member sign-up bonus on NyraBets.com.
Welcome back to Belmont Park Live. As you see, they crossed the finish line here. Some great action here in Elmont, and coming into the winner's circle is your winner of the 5 here, table for 6.
Yeah, you know, as you feel for these horses that run well, and for whatever reason they never seal the deal. And it does seem like in situations, sometimes they just get the right breaks to get it done. I'm not looking to knock her because she's a very competitive horse who's run well enough. But Queen of the Castle, not a best of trips or rides in there, similar with the 9 as well, and she had a terrific ride from Junior Alvarado.
Hopefully you had that pick 3 from races 4 to race 6. You get a little bit over $1,000, and with some of the winning connections, it's Gabby Gaudet.
Thank you, Paul. Here with Ralph Nick's assistant, Heather Smullen. And Heather, you know, this filly, she's had a lot of seconds on form. She's racked up 6 seconds in 12 starts, but she finally got the victory today. What do you think made the difference?
She just got the ideal ride. Like, she's just the type that has to have a perfect trip, and she did today. So we got lucky, and hopefully we'll get lucky a couple more times. It'd be nice.
Did you feel pretty confidently, though, when Junior tipped her out and just kind of put her in the clear?
That was the only thing I was worried about coming off the turn, because there was a bunch of horses in front of him. If he could get clear, she always finishes, but you have to get her clear. You can't get her stopped, and he did a good job of doing that today.
Heather, you've been an assistant for a lot of operations, but have been the assistant for Ralph Nicks, traveling everywhere, especially here and Gulfstream. What kind of pressure is it, or what's kind of a day in the life of an assistant trainer while Ralph is probably down in Florida?
You just show up and do your job. You do the same thing you do if the trainer was there, and you just go through the day.
Well, you're doing a great job, always have, and congratulations on this one.
Thank you, Gabby.
All right, Paul.
Yeah, congratulations to the happy connections there. We always talk about the trainers, but the assistant trainers are somewhat the unsung heroes in this game.
I 100% agree. It's everybody in the barn, and I think everybody that does the work in the barn. There's no trainer that wouldn't say they're only as good as their help. And I'm going to tell you, Heather might have given the best interview of any trainer, or forget about assistant trainers. She gets my award for best interview, period, after race. She was good. She actually said we got a little lucky in there. I mean, she was honest about it. I love that.
Yeah, that was good stuff. As you see the Nyra pick 5 follow along, not that bad. You got a $6 winner in Highway Star, but you beat Karina Mia. Now you get table for 6 for $17, so you're on your way.
Absolutely, and these payoffs have been terrific. I mean, the pick 5 is really the best play in the game.
Yeah, early in the card, we had 2 really good stakes races. We're going to get you one of them now, but the New York Racing Association is the industry leader in providing Spanish language content. There you see Luis Grandison and Darwin Vizcaya provide both race calls and analysis every day. And you can check it out on the Nyra Now app, which brings you content all in HD. Exciting call of race number 2 today, the Ashley T. Cole.
Va avanzando rápidamente y por fuera Call Provision. Viene metiendo fuerte también. Getjer ha pasado hacia el comando. Por dentro Carafa y Call Provision van avanzando. Carafa, Getjer van bateando en el comando. Getjer de una cabeza llegando. Getjer ahí con John Velázquez se gana el estelar ahí.
This was an exciting race, Andy. I tell you, Call Provision, I thought, had Get Jets. Get Jets showed me a little bit more heart than I thought today.
I agree, and he showed he could get the mile and eighth as well. These are two very nice horses. It'll be interesting to see what the connections do with them, but these are good horses, not good New York breds.
Yeah, just handwritten there late by Hall of Famer John Velasquez, and there are the results, $3.90. Call Provision was your second choice. Can't forget about Carafa, who's actually was not that bad running third. We got some soundbite from Guess Get the Connections, Team B, Tony Dutrow.
It was a test. He was also picking up some weight, but I have to feel good about the results of today's race. When the horse came to Get Jets there at the 8th pole, they ran to the wire together, and Get Jets just maybe was a little too much today. I was going to freshen him up a little bit, and there's a race over at Aqueduct going 1 mile and 3/8, and I was going to try that with him.
Well, some good words there from Tony Dutrow. He's obviously thinking that he can go a little bit longer. Now, race number 5 today was the Gallant Bloom. You remember Karina Mia? Yes, she is a superstar, but Highway Star got a little bit the best of her. Lucy and Ethel was also in there. Let's go to Larry Comas for the call of the Gallant Bloom.
3 wide. Highway Star is right behind them inside the half-mile pole. She's only 3 lengths behind, and 5 lengths ahead of Friend of Liberty as they round the far turn. Lucy and Ethel taken on by Karina Mia now. The two of them hook up midway on the far turn. Absolutely wide in hand on the outside of Highway Star and K-Zone, who rides the rail. Friend of Liberty trails the field as they come toward the top of the stretch. The half was 45.94. Karina Mia takes over the lead here. On the far outside, it's Absolutely running a big one, coming to take her on. Highway Star is coming on too, and here she is, ranging up alongside of Karina Mia. Karina Mia and Highway Star. And coming through an opening on the inside, K-Zone is third, but it's Highway Star. Highway Star takes the Gallant Bloom.
You know, Andy, there's I guess you can't say she's a nice New York bred anymore. She's just a nice horse.
Yeah. She may not be the best fillier mare in the country, but she's in the conversation in the top 10. I mean, you look at what she has done. She won the Grade 3 Go for Wand last year. Okay, she didn't handle 2 turns against the track. She wins a Grade 3. She wins a Grade 2. She's third in the FIPS, a Grade 1. She loses the Grade 1 Ballerina by a head, and she beats Karina Mia here. She is just a fabulous racehorse, and she shows up every time.
She really does. She reminds me of a little bit of a poor woman's Paula Silverline. They run very similar. They got a ton of try, but these 3 fillies right here can run.
No, they're all good horses. A great finish. Maybe Karina Mia ended up making the lead a little soon. Does she wait on horses a bit? But Highway Star, if you like racehorses, you gotta love a horse like Highway Star.
Yeah, good stuff. And happy for Chester and Mary Broman. And Rodrigo Bill had some words.
Well, she worked good, and then something happened on the backside, so she fell a little bit too far than I wanted to. But and then seemed like he took her to the outside, and she made a little ground. And well, you see the end of the race, came in the outside and finished pretty good. You know what happened? Angel took a spill a couple days ago. He wasn't ready, and you know, Luis is his cousin, so he talked to him about the filly. So I felt pretty good.
Good stuff there from Rodrigo, talking about Luis Saez getting the pickup mount. We were talking about Sadler's Joy in the Joe Hirsch Turf Classic on Saturday. His main rival is the man Oscar. Is he ready for an Oscar performance in 6 days?
They're off.
Los Alamitos Racecourse congratulates all of the connections of Los Alamitos Derby winner West Coast for his sensational victory in the Grade 1 Travers Stakes at Saratoga. Since our first meet in 2014, many of the top stars in thoroughbred racing have raced at Los Alamitos. Who will be next? Join us for the Los Alamitos Fall Thoroughbred Meet. Opening day is Thursday, September 7th.
everybody knows what we've been going through in Puerto Rico. Very, very bad situation. No lights, no water, no gas. A lot of people lost their home. If anybody can reach out and help, it will be great. Greatly appreciated. They're going through a very bad moment, and they'll be in trouble for probably 4 to 5 months without gas and electricity and water. So if anything that anybody that can do for them, it will be very appreciated. Hopefully that we could keep our family together and our friend in good shape. Thank you very much.
And thank you, Angel, for that message. And yes, please text Red Cross to 90999 for a $10 donation. I got friends, play with a lot of guys in Puerto Rico. Andy, I can't even get a hold of some of them. I'm worried myself. Do whatever you can to help.
No, these are the kind of times it's important to step up and help the people that need your help.
It really is true. The disaster is unbelievable. Maybe 6 months without some power there in Puerto Rico. On to field slate for race number 7, and this is the last pick 3 of the day, and not a bad little field. I mean, they're going 6.5 furlongs, 3-year-olds and up, purse of $47,000. The claiming price, $25,000, and cause for surprise, jockey change to Rosario Montanez, currently your favorite.
Yeah, this is a very tricky horse to deal with here for Gary Gullo because his form prior to his last race buries this field. I think in general it's just consistently better. And last time out he was chasing 4 to 5 wide versus a very strong inside speed bias. So he was way against the track, so you can make that excuse. But Gary Gullo is dropping him in for $25,000 off that race and basically saying to somebody, please take him. He's going to be claimed. And I thought Gabby made an interesting point. Last time out, he's in an optional claiming race, non-winners at 2 lifetime. Now, while he qualified for the non-winners at 2, he could have run him for a $40,000 tag, but he didn't want to. So something has changed so dramatically from his last race that he's willing to lose him for $15,000 less today. That's a scary proposition. His PPs make him the horse to beat, but if you read between the lines, you've got to be skeptical.
Okay, what do you do with his race all the way at the bottom when he was in for 40?
Well, I mean, you look at that race, he did win the slot, and at that point, he was coming off a couple of races where he hadn't been running very well. That's when he started to improve. And if you look at the 4 races before his last race, an excuse, he's running races that are too good for these horses and good enough to at least get checks. I mean, my gosh, he was only 6 to 1 in the non-winners at 2 up in Saratoga. It's not getting any tougher than that race. The good cause for surprise, the one we're looking at here, will beat this field, but I think there's a huge question mark whether we'll see that good one. We've talked about it a lot, but we did see the one that was in the optional claimer yesterday, Paul, for $25,000. We saw that horse, the Aqua horse. We saw that horse win easily. So they do win, these horses sometimes.
Yeah, they do. And, you know, he was good on this day. You're right. He runs this race, he wins easy. Let's get to the 5 we did. Luis Reyes will be aboard. He shocked everybody with an $80 winner in race number 1 today. And you know, 8th place finish, claimed last time out, and currently not really getting better at 11 to 1, but 2 of the 3 wins here at Belmont.
It'll be interesting to see what kind of tactics they employ, if in fact they get him more forwardly placed. At the end of the day, if he runs his race 2 back, he's a huge player. If he runs his last race, he has absolutely no chance. He's got a Jekyll and Hyde thing going. At a big price, I'll bet and hope Dr. Jekyll shows up.
Well, hopefully he looks good.
Who is it, Dr. Jekyll? It's Mr. Hyde? Which is the good one? Which is the bad one?
Which one are you?
The other one.
Well, hopefully, Gabby with this paddock report brought to you by Shadwell Farm, building speed for the future, can answer that question.
I'm staying away from that one, guys, and just sticking to horses here. But we'll start with the 5. We did a horse that you guys were mentioning, and I'm with Andy. I don't know what to make of his last race because it was not good. The pace held in there. He was forwardly placed, and he faded. There were other horses who might have been pace compromised that you might want out of that. But I will say, physically first off the claim for Robitros, he looks fantastic. So I am hoping, I'm thinking that we'll see the performance that we saw 2 starts back versus what we saw from him last time out. As we'll go to another horse who's coming out of the same race as well, and that's the 6 Mighty Jealous. I guess the question could be posed if he's better on a fast main track or a wet main track, because he's run faster races on a fast main track, and he's coming out of a year that unfortunately he's run on a lot of wet surfaces. I just like how he looks, guys, and maybe if he could run back to some of his races during the summer here at Belmont, he could hit the board or at least run really nicely coming out of that race. But I like Mighty Zealous and how he looks here physically. Now the 9, A Cause for Surprise. he's definitely going to be forwardly placed. This is a horse that just has a lot of energy. He's kind of been dragging his walk around the paddock as well. So he'll be forwardly placed, I think, coming out of the gate today. But the issue with him, as we were talking, he was not entered in for the tag against two other than Allowance Company last time out, and now he's in for $25,000. Now, he's not anymore eligible for that starter allowance, that condition that he was running in, because he won the A other than 2 starts back. So we'll see, guys, but I just think it's kind of a dicey proposition to put all your eggs in the cause for surprise basket.
Yeah, do you want to put all your eggs in a horse that is dropping in here? And you know what? Speed might be the key, but that's what a lot of people are probably going to be leaning on. Drop, cause for a pause. We'll find out in a little bit.
Shadwell Farm, home to world-class stallions, presents 2 young stars. Mo Heyman, undefeated 2-year-old, multiple graded stakes winner at 2 and 3. A dazzling son of Tappet, winner of his first 5 career starts, 4 in graded stakes. Grade 1 winner, Tamarcuz, winner of the Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile. This son of Speightstown was a top international miler that earned over $1.8 million. Shadwell Farm, building speed for the future.
Change the way you watch racing forever with the new Naira Now app. Live racing in English or Spanish from a variety of camera angles, race replays, talking horses, race analysis, and a multitude of on-demand content, all in high definition. Naira Now is available on many platforms, including iOS, Android, Roku, Chromecast, and more coming soon. Download Naira Now today, free in the App Store, and start watching the best racing like never before.
Welcome back to Belmont Park Live. I need that shirt. Keep back. 200 feet. Stay away. You need to get involved. And the best way to get involved, too, is at NairaBets.com. But you have to download the Naira Now app because you can never miss a race here at Belmont without the Naira Now app. Plus, you get all the head-ons. You can get all the pan shots, replays as well, and you can download them on so many different platforms now, the iPhone, iPad, Android, Chromecast, Roku, and much more. Just go to the App Store as a call to the post for race number 7. Like I said, this will be your last pick 3 of the day, and it will start with the 1 in here, Saratoga Heater for Ronnie Breed and Kendrick Carmouche. This horse has been hot at the claim box.
He is a horse that's better on a wet track, but he won for the Diodoro barn off the claim 2-back on a dry track.
Lyrical Miracle is the 2. 1 for 26 the last 2 years.
He takes a big step up off his last race. He's been in good form, but he'd need every bit of his best effort to get a piece.
The 3 is going to be Bluegrass Prevails, the son of Bluegrass Cat.
Had form that gave him a shot to get a piece, but it seems to have eluded him recently.
As you see, the 3 Bluegrass Prevails, a little late to come out to the party. On to the 4 right behind him, Pegasus Red here for Jose Lescano and Bruce Levine. 1 for 11 here at Belmont.
Yeah, as we're continuing to look at Bluegrass Prevails, and we get to the 4 Pegasus Red. Problem with Pegasus Red is 5 wins and 58 starts and 20 seconds and thirds. Likes to fill out exactas and tries.
You make a good point there. We did for Luis Reyes and Robitrass. This horse got beat by Sudden Surprise, who won a nice race the other day.
Does the good one show up or the bad one? The good one from 2 back and win this. The last one can't.
Mighty Zealous is going to go through for Castellano and Gary Contessa. 4th place finish last time out in the same race.
Made a move last time before flattening out. Had improved his form prior to the claim.
Saltine Warrior claimed out of that race last time out for 12.5, did no running, and gets a double jump in class.
Interesting that they moved the horse up so significantly, but his recent form is not good.
Proper Freud, owned and trained by David Jacobson, the son of a Fleet Alex, winner 2 back.
He has back form before the Finger Lakes race that make him competitive for a hot barn in David Jacobson, but he'll have to improve off his Finger Lakes form in May.
What was your favorite at 2-1 for Gary Gullo and Rosario Montanez? Speed could be the deal here.
Gary Gullo, one of the top trainers around here, when he gets his chance, this is a horse taking a big suspicious drop, but he can't be ignored.
And then Saul LaFreud will round out your post parade at 28-1 for Ashley Racing Stable.
Yeah, his best races are on the engine. He's got to be aggressive early, but once again, another horse whose recent form not good, coming off a layoff of 3 months.
As you see the 9 cause for surprise at 2-1. We're going to start with Andy's bets here. He likes the 5 here. We did. Now, Andy, 11-1, you take all of this. This is the kind of thing where, okay, I get it. 6-1 on the morning line. You want your horse to get bet a little bit, but might as well take more money, right?
Yeah, I think he'll drop. Looking at the doubles, the double, he's not that big a price. You know, I'm going to take a pot. I'm looking for somebody to bet against the 9. I struggled in this race because I didn't want to put the 9 on top. I put the 9 second. He's the horse to beat. Yeah. And this was the one that at least has that race 2 back that can win it. And I'm hoping off the claim for Sharp Connections. Island Win, who normally goes with Chris Englehart. This horse is with a Diodoro barn. Robert Tross is substituting for Diodoro during a suspension. Yeah. And I'm hoping for a good effort for Sharp Connections.
As you see the 5 galloping out there, the son of Posse. The 8, Proper Freud. I know you wanted to take a look at this horse. Dylan Davis, David Jacobson. David owns this one. Never run at Belmont. But the one thing in the corner, 10 lifetime wins.
And also a barn that's been winning a lot lately. The Jacobson barn has been very hot. And this is a weird horse because these races in May at Finger Lakes, he ran 3 races in 12 days at Finger Lakes. They aren't good enough to beat these. They give him a chance to be competitive for a small piece. But his prior form at Aqueduct, Laurel, I mean, at Gulfstream last December, the claiming crown, he was second to Defer Heaven. Defer Heaven would be odds on in this race. He runs a race like that, he can win. I think the hope is that the good one shows up. Which are you going to get?
You know, you make a good point about the 8. He's almost like an ATM machine, Gabby.
Here, guys, and Proper Freud, you know, we're talking about suspicious drops in class, and cause for surprise definitely is one of those suspicious drops in class. But when you take a look at Proper Freud, I don't think this is suspicious. As Andy was alluding to, even if you look at his back form, he was going against starter 7,500 allowance company at Laurel, but he kind of picked himself up the ranks there. Maybe he did peak kind of in the early half of the year of this year. But I just think David Jacobson is spotting this horse well. He knows what he faced at Finger Lakes in his past 3 starts, and this is the appropriate spot to try him. Now, physically, I do prefer others, but I can't overlook the form, and I do like him on the form. But guys, still looking at these horses warming up, I have to circle back to the 9 cause for surprise and the 5 we did. These 2 horses were both looking pretty good in the paddock and also looking pretty good trackside.
And thanks, Gabby. Is the 9 2-1, and we did an 11-1. Now we'll go to the 1 in here, Saratoga Heater. We were talking about how this horse has been hot at the claim box, been running some good races. Last time out, what happened?
He was bad last time out.
Yeah, right.
You know, he was claimed out of the race from Diodoro by Gary Contessa. Obviously, he didn't run back to the race for Diodoro, not even close. I don't make a big excuse for him last time. He's claimed again. He goes to, basically, it's Tom Morley's barn. Ronnie Breed is substituting while Tom's on suspension. I don't know. At the end of the day, I don't even know if his race 2 back when he won would be good enough to beat so many horses here. And his best races have always been on wet tracks.
Yeah, you make a good point there. And there is the son of Temple City. One thing in his corner, 2 of his 6 wins here at Belmont. You see the 6 going to go in. Mighty Zealous, that one for Winning Move Stable. And the aforementioned Gary Contessa, another horse that loves to run his race, sort of a lunch pail type of horse. 21 for 37 in the money. The 5 we did circling around. About 5 or 6 more left to load. Good luck if you're alive in this Naira Bet late pick 5. Good luck if you're alive in the pick 4. And just good luck if you're going to start a pick 3 here. Let's go to Larry Comas for the call of race number 7.
And the last couple of horses are set to move in. We Did moving into line, and Sol the Freud will be last to load here. 8-5 on Cause for Surprise. As Sol the Freud and Rajiv Mirage come up to the outside stall to complete the line here for the 7th. Going in. They're all in line. They're off. Cause for Surprise with a sharp start. Out to the early lead from Sol the Freud. Bluegrass prevails, and between horses, Saltine Warrior is close up as well. Then We Did, running along in 5th and splitting horses. Then it's Proper Freud on the far outside, followed by Mighty Zealous, Saratoga Heater along the rail, Lyrical Miracle, Pegasus Red is last of them all. Racing for the far turn, Cause for Surprise and Sol the Freud, 22.84 was that first quarter. They're a neck apart. A length and a half to Saltine Warrior running in 3rd behind them. Then We Did. Bluegrass prevails 5th down on the inside. Proper Freud is going up 4 wide on the turn, and right behind them is Mighty Zealous. Saratoga Heater on the inside. Pegasus Red's 8 lengths behind. Lyrical Miracle is last behind Cause for Surprise and Sol the Freud, who turned for home side by side after a 46.05 half mile. These two about to be joined by We Did on the outside as they turn for home. Center of the racetrack, it is Saltine Warrior in 4th. Trying to make a move, Bluegrass prevails down on the inside. Mighty Zealous is there too. Proper Freud is trying to come on too. Wide open still, trying to come and get Cause for Surprise. Here's Proper Freud on the outside, closing in. And Proper Freud rallies up just in time over Cause for Surprise. Looked like We Did was 3rd at a photo. Several horses on the wire for 4th in 1:17.65.
And Proper Freud from off the pace here at 6-1. Good call by Gabby Gaudet. Good call by Andy Serling. Wow, the 9 looked home and cooled out about right here, but Proper Freud found another gear.
I tell you, these David Jacobson horses have really been running, and it's interesting with Cause for Surprise. He did run his race.
He did.
It's not like he was a drop down that didn't show up. He ran, and as you say, he looked home free. The pace was honest, but they weren't blazing out there. He looks home free, but boy, when Dylan Davis got this horse out into the clear, he ran him down, and now it's just making me even sicker that we took the beat in the first leg of the pick 4 because we've been alive with a horse at 6-1 here. Tough game.
I know, 8-9-5. We Did made a little bit of a punch there at the top of the lane, but just flattened out. But no doubt about it, Dylan Davis timed that perfectly as the son of a fleet. Alex will get the job done, and that's going to add a lot more value to that pick 4 and that late pick 5 now.
The Naira Bet's pick 5. I don't care if it chalks out from here. It's going to pay.
Yeah, and the next race is our feature race, the 9th running of the John Henninger. It doesn't matter if you get 4-Star Cook or if you get Act Naughty. You just need to get home now. Not a bad time here in 1:17.3. And this horse is going to play bigger because this horse was 15-1 on the morning line.
And I agree. If you look at multis, this horse was a big price in the multis. And you look at the board. I mean, basically, you had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 horses at the same price, and then you had Cause for Surprise. So people sort of honed in on Cause for Surprise, and after that, they used 6 of them.
8, 9, 5, 10. Unofficial. But Proper Freud is going to run by them all. And don't forget, we talked about next Saturday, Saddler's Joy. He had a nice little trot around the dirt track to get ready for Saturday.
Undefeated in sprint competition, Eclipse champion Run Happy captured 3 Grade 1 victories and set blistering speed records at both Keeneland and Saratoga. In the Breeders' Cup Sprint, he dominated the world's fastest runners, going 6 furlongs in a record-breaking 108 and change. The only horse nominated for 3 Eclipse Awards, Run Happy was crowned champion male sprinter, all the while racing 100% drug-free. Champion, millionaire, record breaker, Run Happy, standing at Claiborne Farm.
Proper Freud getting ready and dressed up to get into that Belmont Park Live winner's circle. 15-1 on the morning line, goes off at about 6-1. Andy Serling doesn't pick the favorite. He makes the favorite, and he goes by. Cause for surprise here. And the Fleet Alex out of the Freud mare. Freud has just been everywhere this whole weekend.
Yeah, he's a tremendous sire, Freud. He really is. Big weekend for him next weekend as well. Got some good runners.
Yeah, we were talking about that Naira Bets Pick 5, $398 to start that Pick 3. That is very, very good stuff. And we'll show you the Pick 5 follow along. Like we said, you beat Karina Mia with Highway Star, but Table for 6 and Proper Freud are both two horses that are tough to get to.
You do the math on this, and this parlay's in range for about $400 for $2, so at $100 for 50 cents. And I'm going to say beating the favorite in the first, open race in the second, this horse winning, probably more like 200.
That's true, and we got a chance maybe for this to carry over. But let's get down to the winning jockey who gave this horse a great ride, Dylan Davis.
He surely did, Paul. And Dylan, kind of talk us through the race, because this was a horse that definitely closed from off of it today. But how did you initially kind of see the pace setting up in front of you?
Well, just how it's set up, actually. I knew there was a lot of speed inside, and I knew it was a tough trip from the 10-hole and the 9-hole, sorry, and overcoming that was a little bit of a wide trip, but overcoming that, he did everything that I wanted him to do.
And at the top of the stretch, it looked like you still had a lot of horse and just came flying late.
Oh, yeah. No, I really didn't want to turn for home, going 6-7 wide, and I let a couple go inside of me, and then I kind of tucked in and then followed them through, and he overcome, and once he got in the clear, he knew what he had to do.
Now, you had ridden this horse before in the past, only once, but generally speaking, does it give you a little bit of an advantage to have experience on a horse and kind of moving forward, getting to know him a bit?
Oh, yes, exactly. To get on the horse more than one time, you get to know him a lot more. You know where you're very prepared to get on him, and you know what you have to do. You know what his quirks are, and to get the job done, it's a lot easier.
Well, congratulations on this one, Dylan. Great job.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, excellent ride there, guys.
Yeah, Dylan Davis, an up-and-coming rider that doesn't get a ton of mounts, but he's been doing a great job. He had a decent Saratoga meet, and he's having a good start to this meet.
You know, this will be a big winter for Dylan, because I thought, to be honest, he was disappointing last winter as an opportunity. And he has actually ridden very well. He rode well at Belmont in the spring. He rode well at Saratoga, as you said, and he's continued to ride well. And now I think he's stepped his game up. And the winter is a good time to get yourself a chance to establish. The riding colony is tough, but not as tough. And if Dylan can put together a good winter, that could really propel him forward.
Yeah, when you come from a riding family, I think there's a lot of pressure that goes along with that as well. As his dad rode, his sister rides as well. So, I mean, he's done a good job. So you got to give Dylan a little bit of credit. This is a tough colony to break into. Well, we've been teasing all day about next Saturday. Some great racing, Andy. We talked about this, 3 Grade 1s on hand, and the Joe Hirsch Turf Classic, probably the highlight, and this horse probably the highlight.
Yeah, I mean, he's a player in this race, but this is a gigantic step forward. I mean, I'm not knocking this horse. He won the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf last year. He's won the 2 Grade 1s, the 2 biggest, the Belmont Derby, and the Secretariat. But there's a horse in this race that in particular could be his kryptonite, and that's Beach Patrol. Because Beach Patrol is exactly the kind of horse that Oscar Performance has never had to deal with. First of all, a talented horse. And I'm not saying Beach Patrol is going to win, but is a foe for him. He has speed, and he has stamina, and Oscar Performance has never been in a situation where he had to deal with a horse that the same qualities that he has, put him away and hold off some talented closers. If he wins the Joe Hirsch, he may be as good at 3-year-old as we have in the country.
He's been good, and I'm wondering if the distances getting longer are getting him stronger. And here you see the probables, and wow, what a field, or at least the probables, when you see Beach Patrol ascend, who upset it here on Belmont weekend. Oscar Performance, Sadler's Joy on the bottom, who we highlighted. And don't forget about Highland Sky. There's some good horses in here.
Zukova, some will remember, ran in our Man of War in the year. Now, it was a bog that day. But she beat horses in there that are talented runners like they were 10 claimers. I don't know if she'll be in a much firmer course, because we're going to have a very firm course. But if she can run on a firm course, the whole field could be in trouble.
Yeah, and you know, Gabby, we're talking about Oscar Performance and Sadler's Joy. I know you've always liked this horse. You like this horse in the Sword Dancer. You think that he can repeat?
I actually liked him in the bowling green and jumped off him in the sword dancer. So it just goes to show you how smart I am. But no, I really do think that he's a horse that just continues to get better and better. We've seen that he's a horse that's kind of found his stride recently. And we'll take a look at the work in prep for his next race here. And he is working on the dirt, of course. That's what he usually does. And he's usually an unremarkable workhorse, too. And it's not uncommon to see that because he is a turf horse. So he did need a little bit of encouragement down the stretch. He kind of had his ears pinned back. The rider was asking him a little bit, too. And I think it was a good work. Did I like his work a bit better going into the sword dancer? Yes. But he is a horse that just continues to move forward. Now, we'll take a look also at the sword dancer. And I thought this was a perfect ride by Julien Leparoux. In the bowling green, I thought Julien might have moved a touch too soon. He moved a bit prematurely, and that really did cost him the race, but not the case in the sword dancer. He was almost too patient. He almost didn't get up in time, but he's a horse that Tom Albatrani did say just absolutely thrives when he's up at Saratoga. So we'll see if he can transition that form back down here to Belmont. But for more on this horse, we'll check in with Tom Albatrani, who talks a little bit about the work and how he's coming into the race.
I went very well. I love the way he picked it up this morning, using that big stride of his down the lane. I caught him in 101 and 4. Finished up very nice and looked like he was doing everything in hand, so I'm really happy with the way the work went today. The horse has been doing very well since the sword dancer, and hopefully we continue to keep our form for the next 2 races, so looking forward to a big weekend again. Should get some good firm ground, which I think he'll appreciate, so everything's been going as planned. Depending on the outcome, hopefully we have a good run and everything's good afterwards. We're definitely pointing to go to the Breeders' Cup.
Good stuff there from Tommy Albatrani. As you see, Sadler's Joe is out for a little bit of a jog, but don't forget 4-Star Crook about 16 minutes away to try to defend that title. Can he do it?
Make NyraBets your home for online horse racing and betting. Use NyraBets to bet on live horse racing from around the world. Bet from anywhere, anytime using your computer or mobile device. Earn valuable reward points on bets. Play in our exclusive promotions and earn cash rebates. Sign up at NyraBets.com and start earning your sign-up bonus today. NyraBets, racing's best play. Use promo code LIVE to get a $100 new member sign-up bonus on NyraBets.com.
Mastery retired undefeated, winning his 4 starts by a combined 20 lengths. A 6-figure September sale purchase, he won impressively in his 2-year-old debut at Santa Anita. From there, he captured the Grade 3 Bob Hope Stakes and completed his juvenile campaign with a dominant performance in the Grade 1 Los Alamitos Futurity. At 3, the top-rated son of Candy Ride sizzled in the San Felipe, running a 105 buyer and winning by open lengths. Mastery, new for 2018 at Claiborne Farm.
Hi, my name is Javier Castellano. You watch Belmont Park Live.
Welcome back to Belmont Park Live. Thank you, Javier, and welcome back to Belmont Park Live, brought to you by Claiborne Farm. 100 years of doing the usual unusually well. And again, the weather out here about mid-80s, actually hot. But the railbirds are out today, and the picnic areas are out today. I saw a lot of people out there by the white fences, Andy, and they were asking for your picks a little bit earlier on.
I'm sorry.
You've been on fire today, by the way.
My picks have been okay today.
We got the late double left, and don't forget, you get involved, and you got to get involved in NyraBets.com. $100 sign-up bonus. The promo code is live. You got to bet that $100 in 14 days. You'll get it right back. It takes minutes. Not seconds, minutes, and you'll be ready to go, and you'll be able to maybe get down here on race number 8. The feature today, and 4-star Crook looking to defend her title, or 8-race win streak. Got upended last time by Bar of Gold, who came back to run a great second at Presque Isle Downs, but 3-5 here?
Yeah, 3-5 is a little bit short, but she is a pretty remarkable horse. I mean, Bar of Gold is probably better than the horses here, and Bar of Gold had an absolute dream trip last time, staying down in the good inside. Now, 4-star Crook had a good trip in there. She got beaten because the other horse is good, and she had a better trip.
Yeah.
But 4-star Crook did something that's almost remarkable, and you rarely see. She won 8 straight turf routes,
unreal.
Most of them in stake races, and she has just an amazing turn of foot. And it's not like she had a perfect trip in every one of those races, Paul. Quite a few of those races, she looked like she was in trouble, and she finds a seam and just comes bursting through. She draws the inside here. I'm not saying she should be 3-5, but I don't think she should be over even money.
Yeah, you make a good point there, because I think the longer distances they go, she's even more dangerous, because Flip Cup, the 2 who was right around her last time out, I don't think can hang with her going a longer distance. Now, when you go to her stablemate Act Naughty, when you go back and you look at that replay, who gets the worst of it?
I think that Act Naughty had an absolutely perfect trip in here, and I'm a fan of Act Naughty because she saved ground and she angled out. Now, she didn't get out into the clear like 4-star Crook did, but she did save the ground. And where was the explosion from Act Naughty? I thought she'd improve, but your point is she's a little bit held up in traffic here?
A tiny bit held up, but here's my other point. Is she really moving? Now, 4-star Crook was moving. What I was trying to ask you earlier, Act Naughty seems like she's a bigger type. Maybe she'll like Belmont a little bit more. You look at her Belmont record, a win, 4 seconds from 6 starts.
On the other hand, she's a vastly improved horse than she was. She was a horse that seemed to have trouble winning races, and then suddenly at Aqueduct in November, she put it together with this gigantic effort, a 96 buyer, blowing a field off the track. Then she comes back and she proves it's legit when she's second to 4-star Crook at Belmont. Then she goes to Saratoga, an impressive win, a nice allowance race, bursts the field. And last time out, as you say, she saved ground, but she had a little bit of trouble in there. She is the biggest threat. That's why Chad Brown's barn is so powerful. The biggest threat to his 3-5 favorite is the second choice that he also trains.
You make a great point with that win at Aqueduct. Sometimes horses just win by a lot and they get confidence. Now you go to the 9 here, Somersault. Didn't have the best of trips last time in the Glen Falls. In the Waya, the race 2 back, it was an interesting race, had a good trip, and sort of got blind switch. When I mean by blind switch, another horse came around her, and then she came back a little bit. I thought it was a good race. You're going to see right here, the horse on the outside, the 2 is going to win this race. She tries to get out about right here, Andy, and she just can't.
Yeah, listen, I'm not knocking her in any respect, but here's the question with her. The question is whether or not she's a horse that's better with more distance. Both she and the 5, Feeling Bossy, are horses that feel like they are better going 1 3/8, 1.5 miles, maybe even 1.25 miles. And distance is the great equalizer in horse racing. As you know, turf and dirt can make a big difference, but you can find a horse that can be a grade 1 quality turf horse going 1 3/8, 1.5 miles for Saddler's Joy that could never really win 1 16 and 1.8. It's not always that they're too slow to get up. They just don't get their engines going fast enough unless they go further.
And hopefully Gabby, with this paddock report by Shadwell Farm, building speed for the future, can tell us that the 9 Somersault might be better on the cutback.
Thanks, Paul. And honestly, I think that she is just versatile. She's just a type of mare that needs to work out the right trip. And I don't know, I hear what Andy's saying about distance being the great equalizer, and you obviously have to agree with that because we've seen it time and time again definitely pay true. But I think more so the case about Somersault is A, she's getting a bit of a class relief from open grade 3 company, and also she's getting to a really firm course. And just looking at her, it looks like that will help her. Now, the distance, I think she'll be fine, guys. And I'm just hoping that she can get into the groove early, maybe sit mid-pack here today and just not fall too far off of the pace. I think she is a legitimate and main foe from a physical standpoint and on paper standpoint to the one 4-star Crook, who is obviously your heavy favorite, and for good reason. This mare has just been able to reel off a lot of consecutive victories, and you can see her physically in the paddock. She is just stout. She is strong and big, and she looks great as well. But she is coming out of a somewhat disappointing performance in the Yaddo. She was heavily favored in there. The winner did get a better trip and bar of gold. But unfortunately, if you're going to try to beat 4-star Crook, I can't say anything negatively about her today. And she's also incredibly well posted as well. Now, the 10 Barrel of Dreams, guys, now I'm going out on a limb here. I know that's definitely the case. Looking at her physically, I don't know how far she really wants to go. She's just kind of a smaller, racy type, but she is on her toes. She looks good for Charlie Baker. And I know she had everything go her way last time out, wiring the field. She stole the race on the lead. But my question to you, Paul and Andy, is do you think she could maybe do it again as the main speed?
No, she can't win this race. She's just not good enough to beat these horses. I mean, I think she's a neat horse. I love her trainer, Charlie Baker. She's got speed. It doesn't matter. She's not in the quality of these horses, and it's not even close in my opinion.
So you don't think that, she wired a field going a mile and 3/16, and
on a very hard course at Saratoga
I get
against
it, Andy,
lesser horses.
But the first fraction was 23 flat. She did some running early to get there.
Yeah, but that was also in a straightaway. A mile and 3/16, they pretty much go a straightaway until in the first quarter of a mile. There's no turn involved. And listen, I like her as a racehorse. I don't want to be overly critical. And if somebody wants to bet 100-to-1 shot, be my guest. On paper, Barrel of Dreams has absolutely no chance whatsoever, in my opinion.
Okay, I admit I'm with you. But I like the horse that ran second. I think the horse Tizelle, who probably needed that race, I get it. I don't know if can win this race, but that wasn't a bad effort.
like Tizelle to race. I like these horses too, but 4-star Crook.
No, different ballgame.
And even Act Naughty and even the 9 Somersault. I mean, the idea that the 9 Somersault right now is the same price as Barrel of Dreams and Tizelle is about the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen in my life. She's about 50 times as likely to win this race as they are.
What about Flip Cup, who we just had the camera on?
She's 13. She's 13. She's a good inside post, and she has speed too. She should be a shorter price. The 10 and 11 are preposterous underlays. If you like them, you should be getting 30-to-1, not 12-to-1.
And what do you think we should be getting on Act Naughty, the 6?
I mean, I guess she's about a 4-to-1 shot or something in here.
7-2,
I mean, I'm looking at the doubles, and the 9 is taking no money at all. I don't understand why the 10 and 11 are getting bet here. But, hey, I look like a fool quite often. Maybe this will be another time.
And there you see the 6, Act Naughty at 5-to-1. I think the main foe to 4-star Crook, but maybe 4-star Crook does deserve that 3-to-5. Don't forget, after the race at Belmont, you can keep playing at home. $500,000 point all split on race number 5. All you got to do is bet a $10 exacta. And by the way, if you hit the early pick 4 Los Alamitos, we'll give you a 10% winner's bonus. Details at nairabets.com. Only good stuff there, as the horses are getting ready to go through the tunnel for the post parade. Race number 8 will be the last wager of the day, the late double, as the Railbirds are still out here on a Sunday. It's in between the football games, so switch on over to MSG and Fox Sports Prime Ticket. Thank you for joining us here on this Sunday afternoon, as you joined us right at the right time for the feature race, as 4-star Crook 8-race win streak came to an end last time, the one in here. And she just got beat by Bar Gold. And we talk about Bar Gold for John Kimmel. She is a nice New York bred.
She's an amazing horse. She's actually been second grade 1s, but she's never won a race not against New York breds.
Yeah, it is true. And this parade is brought to you by OCD Pellets. Post-parade celebrating their 10th anniversary, supporting the equine industry with their 2-in-1 joint supplement. For more information, go to OCDpellets.com. Build stronger bone. Here's your 3-to-5 favorite, 4-star Crook.
She's 3-to-5 for good reason in here. I mean, 3-to-5 is always a tough price to take, but this is an exceptionally good horse and way the horse to beat.
Flip Cup, the mare by Milwaukee Brew is 0 for 2 here at Belmont. It seems to be a little bit overlaid here at 13-to-1.
I agree. She's too big a price. She has the talent to be a contender, and she has early speed. I think she runs a little better in Saratoga.
And scratch the 3, the 4, big long shot here, Bonita Springs.
She's a horse who also can be poorly placed, but one who's overmatched on paper.
The 5 filling Bossy, Jimmy Jerkins looking for another one, and Luis Saez is going to look for a hat trick.
She has stepped up her game as a 4-year-old, but I still think she's better going a little longer.
Chad Brown's other charge in here, Act Naughty for Nantucket Thoroughbreds and Irad Ortiz Jr.
Finally put it together at the end of her 4-year-old season, the main threat, the favorite.
JC Shooting Star for David Donk and Eric Consell for Shooting Star Stable.
I'll tell you what, she's 50-1. I'll take her head-to-head against both the 10 and 11. She's got races where she could get a small piece of this race.
I like it. The 8 Literata scratch. Somersault, the 9, cutting back in distance here for Mark Hennig.
Crazy Overlay has been running against very good horses. Maybe she wants more distance, but she likes a firm turf, and she should be nowhere near 11-1.
The 2 outside horses here might be your speed. Barrel of Dreams being the 10 here, the mare by Not for Love.
She is the speed, and I respect that, but speed only gets you so far when you're over your head.
And then Tizelle, the filly by Tisway for James Bond, and Joe Bravo looking for another one, comes in with a bullet drill.
Lightly raced, and she has a room to improve, but she's taken a huge step up here.
And there's the field of 9. And what a weekend it's been for Freud. The son of Freud, Sharp as Tucket, crashing in the Kelso. Can the daughter of Freud, 4-star Crook, win the Hettinger?
Kentucky Derby winner Orb has emerged as one of the nation's most promising young stallions. The leading freshman sale sire of weanlings, yearlings, and 2-year-olds, his first runners are off to a fast start. His debut winners have dazzled on the track, scoring on both dirt and turf. In the sales rep, his yearlings continue to command top prices, including the $1 million co-sale topper at Saratoga. Outstanding value, outstanding results, or standing at Claiborne Farm.
Make NyraBets your home for online horse racing and betting. Use NyraBets to bet on live horse racing from around the world. Bet from anywhere, anytime using your computer or mobile device. Earn valuable reward points on bets. Play in our exclusive promotions and earn cash rebates. Sign up at NyraBets.com and start earning your sign-up bonus today. NyraBets, racing's best play. Use promo code LIVE to get a $100 new member sign-up bonus on NyraBets.com.
Welcome back to Belmont Park Live here from Elmont, New York. As you're seeing a little bit of the shed rows where the horses stay, like to eat their hay. We'd like to stick that outside of Andy's office, but
I'm moving into my office.
here's the 2 Flip Cup. We're talking about some long shots in here. Well, we're going to stay away from the 1 and the 6. Let's see if we can get some horses here with some prices in the number. In Flip Cup, again, should not be 14-1. I thought chased a pretty good field last time and was right behind 4-Star Crook. Is 4-Star Crook a better mare than this horse? Yes, but this horse should not be 14-1.
I agree, and she also has a good post and can be forwardly placed tactically. I don't think she's going to win the race, and I don't think you are either. But if you think the 1 and 6, let's just say you think the 1 and 6 are the dominant players, and you want to key them mostly first and second, play some supers. I think you use the 2, you use the 5, you use the 7, and you use the 9. You don't use the 10. You don't use the 11. There are horses that are big prices that could easily be part of it, and you don't have to be a genius here. The finish could be 1-6 blank blank, and you could still get a big super, and she could be part of it. So could the 5.
Well, speaking of the horses that you're talking about, the 5, a win in a mile at Aqueduct, then goes a 1.25 miles at Belmont, Gabby. You know, the race before that, Apple Betty sort of went gate to wire 2 back. You think this horse needed that last race in the Yadu?
Oh, sorry, Paul. Yes, I don't think that she needed her last race, but I did catch up with Jimmy Jerkins because Andy was bringing up a good point about her preferred distance. Is she more of a marathoner type of horse on the turf, or is she okay at 1 1/8 miles? And he said she falls somewhere in between. She's maybe not a 1.5 miles type of horse, but the 1 1/8 miles is definitely going to help her as opposed to a 1.16 miles last time out. Now, he also did bring up a great point in that he was really disappointed in her last race, but he was really disappointed in her try last summer at Saratoga. And he said that he just doesn't know if she really likes it up there. So now coming back to Belmont, where she's a 3-time winner, maybe she could turn things around, guys. And I really like what I see as a big shot to try to hit the board or maybe even upset.
Good point there by Gabby. 3 of the 5 wins here at Belmont. Good luck to Emily Wygod, the breeder and the owner. Luis Saez looking for a hat trick. $125,000 on the line. Can 4-Star Crook get back on the winning end here, or can Act Naughty, her stablemate, maybe beat her as well as your second choice? It's the 9th running of the John Henninger. Let's go up to Larry Colmus, the voice of Naira, for the call.
And Tizelle will be last to load, taking position in the outside stall here. Tizelle and Joe Bravo go in. They're all in line, ready for the start. They're off in the John Hettinger. Good beginning for Bonita Springs and Flip Cup. These two joined on the outside by Barrel of Dreams, who rallies up to take the lead into that first turn. Barrel of Dreams to the front, opening up by 1.5 lengths on Bonita Springs as Tizelle takes her position third now, 5 from the front. They're moving right along up front here. Flip Cup, after a good start, is back running in 4th, and she's already 9 lengths off the lead onto the backstretch. Then Feeling Bossy, 4-Star Crook in this scattered field is 13 lengths behind at this stage. Then Somersault, JC Shooting Star, and Act Naughty, 23.38 was the first quarter for front-running Barrel of Dreams, who's barreling along on the lead. With Longshot Bonita Springs, her closest pursuer, she's 2.5 lengths behind and 6.5 lengths ahead of Tizelle, who's got another 8 on Flip Cup and Feeling Bossy. An unhurried 4-Star Crook is inside of Somersault, and now they're 16 lengths off the lead. And then it's JC Shooting Star and Act Naughty, a blazing 46.07 half. As they race for the far turn, Barrel of Dreams continues to lead the way, taking it to them all the way so far with a 4-length lead on Bonita Springs. Tizelle continues to run in third, and it's 10 lengths back to the rest. 4-Star Crook now sent along by Javier Castellano. She's 3 wide. She's 14 lengths behind. 3/4 in 109.17. They're into the stretch. Barrel of Dreams trying to hold off Tizelle, and here she comes. 4-Star Crook has found her best stride. She's got a lot of ground to make up. She's 6 lengths behind, but she's coming, and she's coming fast. 4-Star Crook just blew right by them. And from the back of the pack, Act Naughty is trying to get second. 4-Star Crook has done it. Back to her winning ways. Tight for a second there, Act Naughty or Tizelle. Then Barrel of Dreams in 146.05.
This is why you love horse racing. So many different things going on here. I love the ride on Barrel of Dreams.
Yep.
And Joel Rosario. He tried to run them off their feet, discourage everybody. He almost got away with it, but class prevailed. 4-star Crook was not letting them get away with it.
No, we'll start off by saying this filly is just too good for these horses, and she was way, way back in the turn, and it's not like they completely fell apart and she made the run. This is a sensational filly. I should wear a dunce cap, for my opinion, the 10-11. I think they ended up finishing either 3rd and 4th or 2nd and 4th, but they both ran extremely well in here. There was a reason they were taking money, and I was wrong about that. What I love about this is what Joel Rosario did with Black Tide back at Aqueduct in April, and they continued on with that tactic with great success, and I love the idea, like you said, just seize control. If the 11 had been right along in the race and it turned into a bunched field, she might have run 8th in here. But Joel, people are going to say, oh, he went too fast early. I'm going to say, no, he did the absolute right thing and gave this filly the best chance or mare she had to win.
Wow. 1-6 already. I don't know if there was photo for show. Look at a photo for place.
The photo was for place, so it's definitely one. No,
there you go.
Right.
They took it down because I don't know
I'm
if
not
the
sure the 6
went
got
by
up.
11.
I agree. That was a little weird.
So they took that down. There's no doubt about the one there, 4-star Crook as your winner. This is very close.
Giselle ran well, too, by the way.
Got to give credit to the 11. He was basically 3rd. I thought it was a good ride by Joe to sort of like somewhat take back from the fast pace.
But you know, it's not like she was that far out of it. I think Tizelle ran great in here. I mean, good move by Jimmy Bond taking a shot in here. And these horses ran really well up in the front end. You could say it's the firm turf, but I think it's that these horses ran very well, whether they were 3rd or 4th or 2nd and 4th.
And the middle fraction, 23 and 2. You called it right on the dot, but then 22 and change.
Yeah. 22.69. That's moving around. It's a straightaway, though.
Yeah, I know, right? 4-star Crook gets the job done. Still a photo for place. We do know the 5. The 5 was the horse that checked in 4th there. No. Feeling bossy, if I'm not mistaken.
You don't think the 11 was 4th there?
It's very close.
The 10 was 4th?
Oh, flip coin. There you go. The 11
No, you're right.
was 2nd.
You're right. The 11, yeah. The 11
so
was.
now it is unofficial. 1:11.62 as Tizelle does win that photo. But 4-star Crook will get the job done for all your favorites, and hopefully we'll keep your pick 4s and pick 5s alive. Again, we forgot about yesterday in the Pennsylvania Derby. Is this the best 3-year-old? West Coast keeps on rolling and rolling.
Change the way you watch racing forever with the new Naira Now app. Live racing in English or Spanish from a variety of camera angles, race replays, talking horses, race analysis, and a multitude of on-demand content, all in high definition. Naira Now is available on many platforms, including iOS, Android, Roku, Chromecast, and more coming soon. Download Naira Now today, free in the App Store, and start watching the best racing like never before.
There you see 4-star Crook getting back into the winner's circle here. And now 9-10. Correct order of finish here. 1:11.
6:10. I mean,
6:10.
we thought the 10 held on for 3rd here, or 4th here, excuse me.
For 4th here. So Tizelle does get Plaistow here, but 4-star Crook back on the winning ways, and the daughter of Freud, the New York bred, now over $600,000 in the bank, and the man behind the charge is with Gabby Gaudet.
She's a pretty amazing New York bred at that, but joined by Chad Brown. And Chad, what was kind of going through your mind in the beginning half of the race when we saw Barrel of Dreams just kind of open up on the field and just create so much of a separation from the rest of the field?
Yeah, I was a little concerned. I mean, the pace was strong enough, but she was so far back, both our horses, and the turf's been so firm this week. I became concerned turning for home that maybe she couldn't reel them in, but, you know, she's something else. She never ceases to amaze me. She's got a big, strong kick, and she got there plenty of time.
And talk about her campaign. I mean, she's pretty much won every single New York bred turf race. She had an 8-race win streak, defeated last time out in the auto, but picking things back up today. She's just an incredible horse.
Yeah, she really is. You know, we thought about trying open company again. You know, she already won a grade 3 open company a couple starts back, and now it's time to try something big. So I want to think about it. I'm thinking about wheeling her back maybe in the EP Taylor in 3 weeks and then calling it a year for her and then pointing her next year.
Very interesting. Well, she definitely has the credentials to do that. And talking about horses that have the credentials to step up to the big plate, Beach Patrol is one of them. He's going to be seen next weekend. What could you tell us about him and how he's coming into the race?
He breezed this morning. He's doing really well. 1.5 miles is a bit of a question mark for him, but given the options available, I think it's something we have to try. And he's training really well, so I'm optimistic he can handle it.
All right. Well, congratulations here and best of luck in the week ahead.
Thanks a lot.
All right, Paul.
Good stuff, Gabby. As you see Mr. Dub, the leading owner in Saratoga, right behind, listening to that interview, and happy connections there as 4-star Crook will get the job done. What a neat horse. I'll tell you what, you look at that horse's PPs, that is placing 101.
Yeah. Well, that's the New York breds. When they say they start with an advantage, they have these races to run in. They've got to show up and do it. She won that graded stake at Parks, but primarily she's running against the New York breds and piling up an amazing record. Shows up every time.
Great job by Chad Brown and Javier Castellano. What a team. Let's get out to the PA Derby that happened yesterday at about 5:48 Eastern time. I think a lot of questions wanted to be answered in the 3-year-old division. Were they? Let's go to Keith Jones for the call.
Who goes to the far turn in front by just a length. West Coast yet to be called on. Game over trying to make a 3-wide bid. Here comes Irish War Cry sweeping up 4 wide. IRAP is drawn within 3 lengths of the lead. Here comes West Coast now. Coming to the 5/16 pole, West Coast able to overtake outplay, and West Coast is in front with 2 furlongs to go. Irish War Cry looks to be leveling off just a bit. No advance from Game Over as they approach the top of the stretch. It is Mike Smith and West Coast. West Coast coming down to the last furlong in front by 3.5. It's IRAP who's lugging in. West Coast trying to make a big statement here today. Coming to mid-stretch, he's opened up by 4. It's IRAP second. It's all West Coast as they come down to the finish. Is this his statement for the 3-year-old championship? Wow, West Coast has it by 6 on the wire. West Coast coming down to the last furlong in front by 3.5.
Well, we know Keith Jones's vote for 3-year-old of the year would be West Coast, but this Son of Flatter, I mean, he's running to his pedigree, caressing on the bottom side. She was a Breeders' Cup winner, Andy, and this horse is getting good. Or he already is good.
This is a very good horse, and Bob Baffert just continues to amaze me. And obviously, and Bob would be the first to agree and say it too, you've got to have the right horses in your barn, but he knows what to do with the right horses, and this has been a sensational horse. The Easy Goer, the LaSalle Derby, and then his Travers in the PA Derby, to me, is the best 3-year-old colt in the country.
No, I'm with you, and what is trending, and we'll answer some of those questions. West Coast just won 3-year-old, winning the PA Derby in a romp from Saratoga Slim. Do you agree with that, Andy, or do you agree with this? If they stop right now, Always Dreaming's Florida Derby and Kentucky Derby are more significant than West Coast's Travers and PA Derby. Now,
no, I don't.
We've gone over this multiple times, off camera, on camera, and it's really, really a tough subject to tackle because the Derby carries so much weight.
And that's fair. As long as people are fairly looking at it, not saying, I only looked at the Breeders' Cup and I'll just give the Breeders' Cup and the horses all the championships. The problem is that performance matters as well. Both the Travers and the Pennsylvania Derby by West Coast are better than any race that any 3-year-old has run in this country going long. That's one point. Also, Always Dreaming, he's been awful. since he ran in the Kentucky Derby. Awful in the Preakness, awful in the Jim Dandy, awful in the Travers. So it's not like he's been finishing second and third. While West Coast keeps running very well, he heads in the Breeders' Cup. Now, if he wins or runs second in the Breeders' Cup Classic, that ends the discussion.
Yeah.
But to me, the conversation is already over.
I think I'm with you on that, and I'll tell you why. 3-year-olds run well in the Breeders' Cup Classic, and I guarantee you Bob is going to send one horse after Arrogate, that one. I just don't see Connect going.
Collected?
Collected. I think that horse goes to the mile. I think West Coast wants every bit, and if Arrogate, again, does not like that racetrack, that horse can win that race.
He can win it, but he's going to have to improve to beat Arrogate.
No,
and frankly, if Gunrunner shows up, they all have a horse race in front of them. It's going to be an exciting classic for once.
Well, there was a race right before the Pennsylvania Derby, and it was the Cotillion. It was always a great race. And Abel Tasman, we had talked to Bob on air, and he had talked, hey, listen, we're going to wait a little bit on Abel Tasman and wait till the Breeders' Cup. This is an interesting run race here, Andy. It tis well. Laying second. Mike Smith has got Abel Tasman second to last. And then what happens from here on out?
I'm going to say something. You know, we give a lot of praise to Mike Smith, who's a terrific rider. But I think if you're going to praise a guy for riding well, you've got to be able to criticize him when he rode badly. This was a dreadful ride. You do not make moves from last to first in a quarter of a mile, especially coming up the rail at Parks, even though it wasn't that bad yesterday. This filly went a 22 and change second quarter. That's not how you win mile and a 16th race. This was an amateur ride, and he cost this filly her 4th straight Grade 1.
I think the thing is that lockdown stung her, right? I mean, she got up to the front end, and then lockdown sort of stung her. Now it tis well, who we saw at Saratoga, is just a grinder, and that's what ended up happening. He ended up grinding away. Well, here's what happens, too. And I think you have the right... Your commentary's spot on. Mike's one of my good friends.
Ride.
It was a bad ride.
He's a great rider, but this was a bad ride.
It was a bad ride, and I'll tell you why. Because watch Abel Tasman. She looks hopeless. She looks like she might run third or fourth. She runs second because she sees it tis well now.
She's an amazing horse. The fact that she's battling back, and you know, if you're so afraid that she's not going to put in that run, why would you make it from the quarter to the half? Because then you're expending all that energy, and she's going to be sapped. And as you say, basically he set it up for the 5. It's almost like he doesn't believe in this filly. What, the 3 wins weren't enough for her?
Yeah, I don't get it.
He got away with it in Saratoga. He didn't get away with it here.
He made the middle move. Yes, you're right.
He
made the middle move in the Coaching Club American Oaks. It did. It worked. But did it really work? A late got a pinch there a little bit.
Right.
Now
It shouldn't have worked.
Now a late beats the Cotillion winner by a pole. So now this makes his 3-year-old division. When it comes to fillies, now a little bit more foggy, even though Abel Tasman is still your leader. But
she's the leader. And
she is
should
the
be
leader.
the leader.
She is, and she should be the leader. She's got a tremendous resume as the Kentucky Oaks. That carries a lot of weight,
To
too.
me, she didn't lose anything to defeat there. Now, the voters may not see it that way. To me, she moved up with that second-place finish.
That's true. I thought it was a good effort, but Bob Baffert always sending out the right horses, and I'll tell you what, they both fired. Coming up, the Belmont Cash Out, or I like to say, the Get Out.
Undefeated in sprint competition, Eclipse champion Run Happy captured 3 Grade 1 victories and set blistering speed records at both Keeneland and Saratoga. In the Breeders' Cup Sprint, he dominated the world's fastest runners, going 6 furlongs in a record-breaking 108 and change. The only horse nominated for 3 Eclipse Awards, Run Happy was crowned champion male sprinter, all the while racing 100% drug-free. Champion, millionaire, record-breaker, Run Happy, standing at Claiborne Farm.
They're off.
Los Alamitos Racecourse congratulates all of the connections of Los Alamitos Derby winner West Coast for his sensational victory in the Grade 1 Travers Stakes at Saratoga. Since our first meet in 2014, many of the top stars in thoroughbred racing have raced at Los Alamitos. Who will be next? Join us for the Los Alamitos Fall Thoroughbred Meet. Opening day is Thursday, September 7th.
Welcome back to Belmont Park Live here on the 3rd floor from Elmont, New York. And we want to thank Run Happy for helping us out through this Belmont Park Live. And Run Happy, champion sprinter, won at 6 different racetracks. And a lot of people want to throw the word freak around. He was a freaky type of horse. His debut was unbelievable. His debut looked a little bit like Abel Tasman in that back track we just showed, although he won. And he looks like he's having a lot of fun at Claiborne Farm. He set the track record. And his coming out party was at Saratoga in the King's Bishop. So standing at Claiborne Farm. And don't forget, if you still want to get in this, actually got one more race to play. $100 sign-up bonus. Go to promo code LIVE. You got to spend that money in 2 weeks, and we'll give you that $100 back. You got 12 minutes to get down to NyraBets.com. Here's the field slate for race number 9. Made special weight 2-year-olds going a mile on the turf, and news anchor 6 to 5.
Well, Datalink could have another good one out here in News Anchor. Source ran very well first time for Shug McGay. If News Anchor wasn't green first time out, he wins that race. And I say that as I got lucky because I didn't use him, and I hit the pick 5 with the winner that day. News Anchor should have won that race, and he's going to be tough to beat here at a short price.
Yeah, you make a great point. The son of Datalink. And who did he get beat by? Phone Funky Monkey, who was another son of Datalink that day. And you're right, Andy. He was... Put it this way, the winner looked like he was going to win by 5, 6, 7, and this horse exploded like the last 50 to 100 yards.
Well, the thing is, he was moving with the winner, and the winner just gets away as he loses the whip, the rider, but we don't think that's the reason he lost. Randy just chucked it. It looks like he chucked it. It's funny. He didn't, obviously, but it's like he got away from him, and then he refocused and came back to him at the end. And to me, that's a horse that just needed the race, a Shug first-time starter, but News Anchor, they're betting the right horse. I'm not saying 6 to 5 is a great price, but he's the horse to beat.
Yeah, sometimes you just have to take 6 to 5, Gabby. And the one thing that you got to love about the two, he was 11 lengths clear from the 3rd place finisher.
Yeah, exactly. The way that he kind of caught up to Phone Funky Monkey, who made that lead a bit prematurely, was incredibly impressive. And not to mention, Manny Franco that day did drop the whip. So he really did it on his own encouragement alone. And looking at him physically, guys, he is an absolute standout amongst the rest. And I think it mainly is because he's got 2-turn experience. He just looks so professional. He looks so fit. And the 2-turn experience now turning back to the 1-turn mile on the turf, I think is going to definitely benefit him over his foes. So he looks like the horse to beat on paper and the horse to beat physically, just well muscled from head to toe. Now we'll go to some other horses who have some experience on the turf too, and one of them is the number 11 Sandlot Star. Now the blinkers do go on him for the first time today, just regular French cut blinkers, and you'd imagine that this horse will be forwardly placed, if not the main speed in here, so that will help him. And I do like him getting the added distance, especially kind of from the 5.5 furlongs to the 1-turn mile. I think it's going to be perfect for him. And I think he got a decent amount out of that first race because from a fitness perspective, he looks pretty good to me. So we'll see if he's the horse to catch on the front end. Whereas we see the 10 Throw the Deuce, who's making his second start too, coming out of the same race. And to me, he made this really impressive closing move going 5.5 furlongs, and it's surprising that he did that because he is a very big horse. He's got a lot of size to him, so the fact that he could be effective at 5.5 furlongs, I think bodes well for him getting added distance. So, guys, I think both of these horses will move forwardly in terms of getting added distance today, although I do like how the 11 Sandlot Star is acting a little bit more just maybe from a mental standpoint. He took the step forward after that last start, guys.
Great job there, Gabby. And that paddock report brought to you by Shadwell Farm, building speed for the future. As you look at the 10 in here, don't give him the heater, Ricky. Throw him the deuce.
Well, throw the deuce, threw a deuce down the stretch. He was moving. This horse really was running at the end. And the thing to think of, it's not... Yes, there is something to be said of a horse closing at a sprinter doesn't necessarily get better when they go longer. Sometimes they're closing sprinters. But a first-time starter going 5.5, it's a starting point. So in all likelihood, horse is reasonably likely to stretch out. I think both of them ran well. Who's the best out of this race? Well, I think the 10 ran the better race. Or Throw the Deuce, who's the 1 in this race, and the 5 was Sandlot Star. They're 10-11 today. Here's the thing, though, and we'll get to Sandlot Star. He might be able to control on the front end. but the horse who's going to be running at the end is Throw the Deuce. I think both of them are good, and both of them can win.
Yeah, I'm with you because the horse that won this race, Battle Station, is a nice runner.
Yep.
Came back and won a 7-furlong race on the dirt by a pole and for Wesley Ward. So I think that race is just live as can be because that horse is a real horse. And 6-5 right now on the 2 in here. News Anchor, but Throw the Deuce is going to come down a little bit.
They're going
here.
a little overboard on the 2, right?
Yeah.
And looking at doubles and multi-race bets, the 2 is not coming way down, Paul. So these horses will stay a bigger price, and I think the betting is suggesting that it's not a competitive race, and it is. What the 2 has over the 10 and 11 is experience going long, while these horses went 5.5. And that is a credit to the 2, but it doesn't mean the 10 and 11 can't run.
Yeah, and you talk about, is the separator going to be that extra couple furlongs? You do have some horses cutting back, like the 2 News Anchor from 2 turns to 1 turn. Is that better for you when they cut back from 2 turns to 1 turn?
Well,
I know you're a cutback guy, but what about on the turf?
I find the 1-turn miles, the reason I really like them is they're very fairly run races.
Yeah.
Speed has a chance, but the closers can get in the race. I really think they're fairly run races. Ground loss isn't such a big deal at Belmont in the Widener and mile races.
There's the call to the post from Sam the Bugler, and exacta, trifecta, and superfecta wagering on the last race. And we'll start the post parade with English Chanicle. Big long shot here for Rosario Montanez.
Long shot for a reason. Impossible on paper.
The 2 is going to be Data Link, who lost to another son of Data Link and Phone Funky Monkey, but was big last time out.
News Anchor is a runner for Shug McGay, and he's the horse to beat near, well placed inside green first time out. But I think 6-5 a little low considering his competition.
Stormy Justin, a 2-year-old colt by Get Stormy, 38-1, not bad. He's got a pretty good pedigree.
My long shot throw in the Dam Finlandia was a strong New York bred turf horse. She's thrown 3 turf winners. She won a bunch of races. Get Stormy, there's pedigree, get a piece and a price.
Fun Prospect at 22-1 was 3rd behind News Anchor, but needs to make up about 10 links.
He's beaten 11.5 last time. How's he going to make that up?
I don't know. Magnetron is the 5. There's south of 5th racing in Michael Lerman.
Worked 21 3/5 the 2-year-old sale. Not a ton of turf pedigree.
City of Dreams is the 6th. The interesting horse here for Johnny Velasquez and Wesley Ward.
This horse has plenty of turf pedigree on the Dam side. Maybe to go a little bit shorter, but still.
Iron Johnny's going to get Lasix in his second start, the son of Mine Shaft.
I think it looks like this horse ran better than he did in his debut.
Bourbon for me is the 8 in here. Shannon Uski in to ride for the son of Congaree.
A runoff last time out, setting a monster pace, but a little tough to take off that.
Another big long shot is we're going to go to the 10 here. Throw the Deuce in here for Ronnie Breed and Javier Castellano. A definite player.
As a huge player in this race and an overlay at 7-1.
Sandlot Star. I think that's your nickname, Andy. 5-1.
Yeah, absolutely. A big sports, big athlete. Ran very well last time. Could be the speed of the speed.
The 12 Perfect Expectation, 33-1. Should improve for Mike Maker, but didn't show much first time out.
It's really not much of a turf pedigree, though. It's all dirt.
That is true. We're trying to find the 9 for you at 29-1. Nate Can't Wait. And blinkers go on for Louis Reyes, and I think his name is going to be the same. They're going to try to go to the front end.
I'll tell you, the Damn Lemon Tiger was a nice turf claimer around here. Won 4 turf starts out of 17.
And there you can see your favorite right now, or your second choice, Throw the Deuce at 7-1 for Javier Castellano. Let's see if he can get it done.
Chadwell Farm, home to world-class stallions, offers 2 successful stake sires. Brilliant Miler, Daher, a consistent source of quality. Daher is the sire of black-type winners coast to coast. Grade 1 winner and millionaire, Albertus Maximus, winner of the Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile and Don Handicap. He is now siring black-type horses across the U.S. and abroad. Chadwell Farm, building speed for the future.
Welcome back to Belmont Park Live here from Elmont, New York, as you're looking at the morning line. You ever been there?
I have not been there. I've been there. I've never eaten there.
Never eaten there either.
I don't get up that early.
I got to
Paul.
go there. Here is Nate Can't Wait. We couldn't find him in the post break. We found him now for Dominic Schettino. 32-1 for Luis Reyes. And I think his name is fitting. He's putting the blinkers on. I think he's got to be sent here. Now we're going to get to the favorite, the 2 news anchor. Even money.
No, this is too competitive. There's too many unknowns in this race for a horse to be even money. And I picked this horse on top, so it's not like I'm against him. But there's a lot going on in here, and both the 10, 11 ran very well in their first starts. There's too much going on in this race to say he's a cinch in a 12-horse field.
Yeah, it's hard to take even money, but you know something? Data Link Desire has done some really good work. So only standing for $7,500 at Claiborne Farm, and his horses are runners. And one of his better moments was at Keeneland, winning a big race there. And, you know, he's had a couple horses here in New York. We saw Phone Funky Monkey. We saw a news anchor. And they've been running, and they've been precocious, too. You know, the one thing you will give with the 2 news anchor, in New York, you talk more than anybody, Andy, how sharp the bettors are. When they're even money in a 12-horse field, they're going to run.
Yeah, hey, listen, you're right. I mean, that's the thing. It's funny about underlays. Are they underlays when they win? Well, sometimes they are.
Yeah.
The bettors are very smart here. I'm surprised. I'm surprised that this horse is even money, and they're just saying the 10, 11. They really can't beat the 2. I don't know, Paul. I think it's more competitive than that. I really do. And I like I said, I picked him, but I think the 10, 11, and I want to throw in the 3 and 6 as 3rd and 4th horses in the supers as well.
Yeah, and when you take
4
a
to
look,
5.
Yeah, right. When you take a look at the 6 in here, Gabby, this is a first-time starter, a filly here for Waterford Stable. Always dangerous with Wesley Ward.
Exactly. You always want to pay attention to some of these first-time starters debuting for trainer Wesley Ward. But Andy was mentioning an interesting point about her pedigree, that on the bottom side, it does appear to lean a little bit more towards shorter distances. And for me, she kind of looks that way. Maybe she could handle the 1-turn mile, but she kind of also looks like the shorter, the better for her. But she does debut with blinkers, and maybe the approach is just to get out of the gate and try to go to the lead, because she does look like she will provide speed. Now, the 12 Perfect Expectation, guys, this is a big long shot. She's 40-1. By no means am I saying, by no means am I saying that he's going to win this race. But if you're looking for a long shot to maybe throw into the mix, he definitely doesn't look like a 6-furlong sprinter on the dirt. So maybe the turf could move him forward. And just to quickly circle back to the 10, Throw the Deuce. He was acting up a little bit in the paddock, but I will say he has settled very nicely since coming to the track, guys.
Good stuff, Gabby. Maybe the catcher went out to throw the deuce and calmed him down a little bit.
You would know about that better than I.
Yeah, 7-1, 4-5 on the 2 here, news anchor. By the way, if you're live in these NYRA late pick 5, the 1 and the 9 carry over, and that would carry over till Saturday, because Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday you cannot play it. So if you're rooting for big long shots, or if you're a root against her, the 1 and 9 would carry over, and the pick 6, well, no one's hitting it. So good luck if you're live in all the different horizontal wagers or vertical wagers here. As we're going to go to Larry Comas, a couple more left to load. The 6 in here again. Who do you like in here, Andy?
I picked the favorite, but I think the 10, 11. I think my bomb horse to throw in is the 3, 3rd or 4th in the tries or supers.
Stormy Justin.
Big pedigree.
Like it for Junior Alvarado. One more left to load. Let's go up to Larry Comas for the finale on a Sunday.
City of Dreams, the filly about to move into the starting gate. And she'll be followed by Perfect Expectation, who will complete the line 4-5 on news anchor. As Perfect Expectation comes up and completes the line. They're all in line, ready for a start. They're off. A good beginning for City of Dreams, who goes out to the early lead. English Chanicle from the inside with speed. Sandlot Star is outrunning in 3rd. Then Perfect Expectation on the outside, and Nate Can't Wait. Break of another 2 to Fun Prospect. News Anchor is on the inside, 5 lengths off the lead. Bourbon for Me is next, as Throw the Deuce goes up on the far outside. Then it's Iron Johnny. Break of 3 lengths more back to Stormy Justin and Magnetron. 22.6, a sharp opening quarter mile here for City of Dreams and Sandlot Star. They're going at it on the lead. Perfect Expectation and English Chanicle right behind. Break of 2.5 lengths more back to Throw the Deuce, who races outside of Fun Prospect, and Nate Can't Wait between them. Bourbon For Me is now 5.5 lengths off the lead, and then comes News Anchor, who's on the inside, saving ground for the turn with 6 to make up after a 46.16 half mile. Iron Johnny is next, and then it's Magnetron and Stormy Justin. Around the far turn they go, and it is Sandlot Star and Erad Ortiz to take the lead now. Sandlot Star from Perfect Expectation, City of Dreams back running in third. On the far outside is Throw the Deuce. English Chanicle splits horses. Nate Can't Wait is there as they come toward the top of the stretch, and nothing yet from News Anchor, who's down on the inside and still about 9 lengths from the front. As they come into the final furlong here, it is Sandlot Star from Perfect Expectation. Bourbon For Me on the outside. News Anchor's about to be fourth, but still far behind as they come down to the line. It is Bourbon For Me who's going to do it. Bourbon For Me to beat Perfect Expectation. News Anchor was third, and then Magnetron in 135.44.
Four words for you. Shan, Nun, U, Ski. $27,000 if you had this horse covered in the pick 5, Andy.
Well, this is a horse that ran off in its turf debut at Saratoga, Bourbon For Me, and ran a crazy pace and set it up for horses like News Anchor. Now, News Anchor got in some trouble in here. Maybe we can watch a little later, and came running too late in here. But they used different tactics. They took the blinkers off.
What?
Shannon got the horse to settle, and it was good night at 73-1. We started the day with an $80 horse.
You're right.
We ended with a $150 horse.
Wow. Blinkers came off. And I'll tell you what, Shannon, one thing about Shannon, she rides in Monmouth, in Jersey, Parks, a lot of different places, and she's very, very good at taking horses back and making one run. By the way, if you have this exacta, all you need it for is $1.
Can we get back and watch around the 3/8 pole or something? Because I'm wondering if the 2 News Anchor had significant trouble or if just got outrun, because the horse definitely seemed to be flying at the end. But take nothing away from the winner, and this is a trainer, got this horse one time in the turf, ran uncontrollably, and I feel like Gabby was a little interested. Gabby or Maggie, somebody was interested in this horse first time out, and the horse ran off on the front end, the Archibald Kingsley horse. And today, different tactics, got a wicked pace up front. The 11 ran very well in here, but collapsed towards the end. The 2 is, I don't know which one the 2 is, so I can't.
Down inside
on the inside of the rail,
floor, yeah.
we can see. I can't really tell from this point what's going on. Sort of gets shuffled behind. The 4's going in the face.
Sort of gets held in by the 8.
Gets completely backed up. The 2 is backed up to almost last. Even the 3 has gone by the 2. The 2 is dead. Well, the 2 was dead last, the last point we looked. It feels to me like News Anchor should have won, but we talk about in big fields, you get in some trouble, and 4-5.
Wow, this is amazing. What a great result here. If you had all, or if you had anything, or if you like a little bit of bourbon, 27,000. And again, here's the pan shot around the turn. As you're going to look at the 2, is stuck behind the 4. The 4 and the 2, I kept looking at you going, the 4 is loaded, so is the 2. They got nowhere to go. Now watch what happens when the 2 is dead last. It's got one horse beat. By the time the horse wheels out in the middle of the racetrack, he's not really trying right now because he has no chance of winning. Now he starts to get busy on the horse.
The 2 should have won the race. I mean, I'm not, listen.
No.
You had a 73-1 shot. It's exact. I tip my hat to you. I love people betting long shots in here. You got to get a little lucky with long shots. At the end of the day, these are the kind of fields try to get lucky. But the 2 at 4-5 should have won this race. And as much as I love Joel Rosario, and I'm a big fan, sometimes you live by the sword, you die by the sword. You can be awfully patient with horses inside. In this case, it didn't work out for him.
Well, Shannon Uski's going to get the money here. Almost $150 winner to close out the card here at Belmont Park. Don't go anywhere. We'll have the prices and all the big balloons when we come back.
Claiborne Farm presents Trap Shot. This graded stakes winner and multiple Grade 1 performer is now an emerging young sire. His top runners include Fish Trap Road, winner of the Grade 3 Dwyer Stakes, plus 2-year-old stakes winner Mirai, graded stakes place Quick Release, and Grade 1 performers My Man Sam and Wild Shot. Already ranked among the nation's leading sires of 2-year-old winners, Trap Shot has the speed, the class, and the pedigree to remain Tappett's top side. Trap Shot at Claiborne Farm.
Make NyraBet Bets, your home for online horse racing and betting. Use Naira Bets to bet on live horse racing from around the world. Bet from anywhere, anytime using your computer or mobile device. Earn valuable reward points on bets. Play in our exclusive promotions and earn cash rebates. Sign up at NairaBets.com and start earning your sign-up bonus today. Naira Bets, racing's best play. Use promo code LIVE to get a $100 new member sign-up bonus on NairaBets.com.
Andy, certainly I know you had a text. And when you text somebody, congratulations, balloons go up.
It was Greg Wolf. He couldn't believe it, the 8-1. It's nice to know Greg is really watching. Was Greg watching to listen to us or just to gamble?
But Bourbon, for me, $148.50 to win, $48 a place. If you happen to live on 812 some odd lane and you had 812, you got $3,600 on that exacta. The pick 6 carryover is $28,000. The Naira Bets pick 5 is $27,000. And Gabby Gaudette's with Shannonewski.
I am a huge victory here, returning a lot of money too here, Shannon. Congratulations first and foremost. But we were talking off air a little bit, and you said that you had experience with this horse. You've been galloping him and getting on him in the morning. How did that experience pay off today?
It really helped today because he's kind of a nervous horse where you take more of a hold of him, he fights you and just goes. So I knew him, just put my hands down. He kind of acted like he was going to fight me early. And I just sat quiet, and then he just took a deep breath and relaxed and saved himself for the finish.
Was that the strategy going in? Because obviously he's a horse that ran off a bit last time out at Saratoga, but today he came from well off the pace, albeit it was a pretty quick pace up front.
Yeah, they were going pretty good early, and that was the plan, though, try to cover him up and see if he would settle, because he did last time stop when he ran off a bit. And I've been working with Arch with him and, you know, getting him to settle, and it worked.
Well, awesome job. And Shannon, you go multiple different tracks during the summer. How does it feel to get a victory up here at Belmont?
It's great because also I started here. This is home with the Chief and everything. So just makes me remember all the good times with Alan Jerkins. And so it's nice.
All right, great stuff. And always nice to see you in the winner's circle as well. Congratulations here, Shannon.
Thank you so much.
All right, well, experience and knowing the horse a bit, guys, it paid off today.
Good stuff, Gabby. I think a lot of people forget that Shannonewski was on Groupie Doll and won a couple big races on that great mare. Don't forget, tonight is the Oklahoma Derby. 10% winner's bonus on exactas all day in the Remington Park. At Remington Park, go to NairaBets.com. And here is the field. And Gervin 7-2 on the morning line, but Battle of Midway, your post-time favorite.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. They have horses at similar prices. I got to think that Gervin and Battle of Midway will separate themselves from the field. We'll have to take a look at that race. But the Oklahoma Derby race in the card's a good card. Play it on Naira Bets, get those 10% winners bonuses. A lot of good action at Oklahoma at Remington Park tonight.
No sleeping tonight. 8:45. Go to NairaBets.com to get your wagers in on the Oklahoma Derby. Yesterday, Sharp Azteca, the son of Freud, dominated the Kelso and might be one of your favorites in the Breeders' Cup Mile. We saw the daughter of Freud, 4-star Crook, win a little bit earlier. But, Andy, did this horse vault himself to the top of the mile division, or is he right in the mix?
Well, he's in the mix, but as you say, if Collected doesn't run the Classic and he cuts back for the mile, he's going to be considered one of the favorites. At this point, how can More Spirit be considered the favorite? I know what he did in the Met Mile, but he hasn't been seen since then. So how could you take him? And this horse did it in the racetrack. This horse, Sharp Azteca, 111 buyer. He was good yesterday.
So he got a 111 buyer, was it?
And went for fun.
Yeah, and he did. He went for fun. And here's next weekend stakes. Don't forget, we got the great Grade 1 Beldame, the Joe Hurst Turf Classic. Elate will be featured in the Beldame. Elate beat It Tis Well. It Tis Well came back to beat
She's got to win this
Tasman.
race and at least be second in the breeders in the filly and mare distaff at Del Mar, or win it to be 3-year-old champ, because I just 3-year-old filly, and I love Elate. I'd love to see her do it, but at this point Abel Tasman's got the beat on her, even though in my opinion she should have the 2 Grade 1s, because I think Abel Tasman should have come down in the coaching club.
Ooh, still.
Yeah. But Tom Amos wouldn't have claimed foul.
You see the tractors getting ready already. Racing's going to resume on Wednesday. Just a couple days a break, as you see people still hanging around, holding on to
They're
their
waiting for
beers
you,
and
Paul.
finishing their beverages. And
Paul Duca
they got
autograph
to-
session down there.
Hey, $8 an autograph. Don't forget, race number 2. We saw an exciting
And if
race.
you
Get
lose.
Jet shows a ton of heart, beating Call Provision in the late stages of that race. In the Gallant Bloom, Highway Star outdueled Karina Mia deep in stretching here. Kazan was a very, very good third. And the star of the day, no pun intended, 4-star Crook, no doubt.
Change the way you watch racing forever with the new Naira Now app. Live racing in English or Spanish from a variety of camera angles, race replays, talking horses, race analysis, and a multitude of on-demand content, all in high definition. Naira Now is available on many platforms, including iOS, Android, Roku, Chromecast, and more coming soon. Download Naira Now today, free in the App Store, and start watching the best racing like never before.
Saratoga.